Women in politics. This statement should sound natural, however, for some countries, even within the European Union, it still strikes with the element of surprise. But what's the reality behind? Let's ask our experts.
Shall we start?
Off we go.
This gender equality doesn't mean that there cannot be positive discrimination. So we could apply the principle of positive discrimination to the unborn fetus. For those fetuses that haven't seen the light of day, they might be women, so maybe we should stop female fetuses from being killed. Maybe that's a way of protecting women.
Can you imagine having to translate that in the parliament as an interpreter? Poland has been notorious in recent years for becoming one of the least women-friendly states in the EU. It has one of the strictest abortion laws. I think stricter may only be Malta, which is also very, very conservative. And the EU has been very concerned and very outspoken against it. How can we sanction or influence countries that are blatantly disregarding human rights or have strong tendencies to move in that way? In recent years we've especially been targeting or been talking about Poland and Hungary, for example, where you have religious views on abortions influencing political decision making, because we're talking also about a large voter base. In that case, we see this in reproductive rights. We see this also in other cases, like when we talk about donations, like sperm donations are allowed, but egg donations in many countries are illegal because the woman can't be sure, what if this could have been live, it could have been her child, but really I wasn't gonna use the egg this month anyway, so somebody else could benefit from this. We see this as hypocrisy when we don't allow a gay couple to adopt a child, all these things. Wherever it comes to infringing on women's rights or on queer rights, politics gets much more involved and society gets much more involved than when we talk about economics.
A paksi atomszeméd elhelyezéséről kérdezte az LMP Szél Bernadett, a miniszterelnökséget vezető minisztert.
Vagy önnek én jutok mindenről az eszébe, vagy pedig sok közös témánk van. Remélem, hogy ezt a speciális érdeklődést más minisztertársammal is megosztja majd.
Szél Bernadett már ennél a pontnál furcsán.
Well, I think it's also a very good example of how Fidesz politicians approach having to deal with women politicians in Hungary, which is unfortunately quite a rare occasion for them, because we have a very low number of women MPs in our country, and that really shows why some women might not want to get into politics, because they not only face criticism, which is of course naturally comes with being a public figure and being a politician, but you also face a certain kind of sexism in a very manly world of politics, unfortunately. And I think it's very important when a Hungarian citizen sees that the prime minister or a very important politician from the government can afford being sexist and giving sexist remarks in the Hungarian parliament. It validates everyday sexism as well. It should be important for politicians to set an example, a good example.
This sort of abuse is meant to keep women out of public life, period.
I'm Katie Hill, and I'm running for Congress. But this is not who I am. I'm not a career politician.
Katie Hill's abrupt resignation from Congress is an example of the role online harassment can play in altering a woman's political career.
I'm leaving because of a misogynistic culture that gleefully consumed my naked pictures, capitalized on my sexuality, and enabled my abusive ex to continue that abuse, this time with the entire country watching. I am leaving because of the thousands of vile, threatening emails, calls, and texts that made me fear for my life and the lives of the people that I care about.
I mean, it's a very strong statement, and she's very right about it. Inevitably and unfortunately, many, if not most, politicians do face some sort of abuse, be it like physical in the worst case, or online, because there's impunity online. And that is a big issue. Plus, once a woman is situated in a political party, has a good seat, gets elected, she faces often online abuse, harassment, but also difficulties in just finding her standing. Like, for example, if a woman gets elected, she's more likely to become, if she becomes a minister, to become a minister of like education or social affairs. But she is not likely to become like the economic minister or the minister of defense.
Unfortunately, there are, examples from Hungary as well, how voters or certain citizens feel that they have a right to judge women politicians. For example, a Hungarian women politician was criticized for having a dog and not giving birth to children, which is, of course, it's a deeply personal decision to take, and women, shouldn't have to, not only politicians but ordinary women shouldn't face criticism based on their choice to have a family or not, or their sexual partners or so. So that's a very, very sad example of that.